I said I wasn't going to go live, but I decided to. We didn't get we got some pictures. I did a little bit of video, and I thought I'd just update everybody all at once because it would be a little bit easier. And I am exhausted. So I'm going to go home. I'm going to take my medicine, and I'm going to go take a nap. I'm like falling asleep, which does not usually happen in the car because usually that's not the place I feel like I want to take a nap. So I thought, let me just do this and go live. I thought we'd be a little bit later in the day, and I didn't know how today was going to go. Things went very well, and Hi Miss Dragon, the adoption went through without any kind of, any kind of hitches. The judge was a little puzzled at first because Christina's married, so what her name will be and what she wants it on the birth certificate, all that kind of stuff. And the judge did ask her husband if he approved of this. He said yes. And I meant so much. I know the judge didn't have to ask me, but she looked at me and she said, "Your mother, does your mother approve of this as well?" And I said, "Of course." And she said to Josh, she said, "Now once this is done, we can't go back." And he said, "Oh, I wouldn't take this back for anything." And usually when she was my daughter from that point, he said this only just makes it legal. And he said an official that, not that it wasn't official before, but there's just something a little different. And there's a story behind this that I'm going to, I think, tell when I kind of tell my dad's story, because it really shows into having to forgive my dad and love him through his struggles. I did tell a little bit of his story when I talked about my grandmother and her struggle with bipolar, but I think that this all kind of fits in there, how he kind of played a role. And I did tell it when we talked about when Kelly B and I were on together, but I want to do my own separate one talking about him and this whole story of how this kind of fell into place, because I was really, today I kind of said, "Thank you, Dad. You didn't have to do what you did, but you did it because you loved me and you loved your granddaughter." And I know in that courtroom, I don't know what it was. It felt like he was just right there. And if I know my dad, he was probably just smiling from heaven, just beaming, because this was really something that he very much wanted. And my daughter was ready for it, and she was the one that came to my husband. So it was just a wonderful day. And then we went out to breakfast, and then we went, and my husband hadn't seen her new place, so we went and saw her new place and sat on the porch and had a little bit of ice cream. And then we dropped her home, and then I'm going home. We're on our way home on a very bumpy road, if you can't tell. And we're going home, and I am going to have a nap because I am tired. So I thought I can't go without updating my peeps on Blessed to Crochet, and I gotta update you and tell you everything went well. And at first the judge was like, "Well, if I approve this," I was like, "Did we forget we've been back to the court since like August or October, somewhere in there, or September, getting this, and then they needed this paperwork and that paperwork and this paperwork and that." And I was sitting there going, "Did we forget something?" And so at the end, she said, "I'll approve this." And she said, "Congratulations." And she said, "I could just see the love that you have for your daughter all over your face, Mr. Jones." And so it was wonderful. My mother-in-law was going to try to come, but she wasn't feeling well. She lives about 3 hours away. So she was one of the first people that we FaceTime or message time or whatever, video chatted with, and just said it went through. And she goes, "I got to be she said, I get to be a grandma again." She said, "Welcome officially," even though she is just, his whole family is just accepted, my daughter as one of their own, one of Josh's own from day one, and I couldn't ask for anything better. So, and Mosa, I think that's how you say your name. So it went very well, and I thank everybody for their prayers and for their well wishes and for their good vibes, whatever you want to throw at it. I know God was in it. I think it was, adult adoptions don't happen very often. This circumstance and how it happened, and the different kind of, and I guess in Ohio it doesn't happen, it was very unusual. And so it took the courts a while to kind of totally understand all the stuff, all the paperwork and who was this or that. So it'll be awesome to see that the birth certificate come through when everything's done. So anyway, she approved it, and it was like we were in and out of there probably in about 20 minutes. And then we went to the Bishop restaurant for lunch or breakfast, and then we went and looked at her. We had seen her place, but my husband hadn't, and then we're on our way home. So I'm ready. Boy, am I ready for a nap. Because last night I fell asleep at 12 to 3, and then I woke up at 3, and I couldn't go back to sleep till 5:15. And then the next thing I know, the alarm's going off at 5:45, and I'm like, do I have to get up? Because we had to be out of the house by like 7 this morning, so it could be at the courthouse by 8. So it could be at the court at 8:30, and it was so funny because the court date was 8:30, and we waited there for like 20 minutes. And I just said to her, I said, now remember what it said, Christina, on Princess Diaries. The queen is never late. The people are always early. So I said, the judge is never late. The people are always early. So she couldn't have been a nicer judge. She was very nice, and it went very smoothly. And she even said to Christina, introduce me to all the people that are in the courtroom for you. And so it went very nicely. It's a very special day for our family, and one that I know my dad would have been honored to. He would have been. He was a part of it, hands down. He was there, but he had the best seat in the house as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, that's that. I want to thank everybody that was on the lifeboat. If you're not familiar with the lifeboat, please go check it out. Yesterday, they kind of gave me a little loving butt kick when I needed it. They kind of said, I remember one comment I put on the lifeboat was, I'm sorry for dumping. And Tommy was like, why are you complaining for dumping? This is the place to do it. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here to. I'm doing better today than yesterday. That's what we're here to do. Don't apologize for dumping. Don't apologizing for having a place to come to when you're struggling with something. So yesterday morning was hard. And I had a lot of loving people just surround me and be there to talk. And let me just tell you, connection does make the difference. I'm exhausted today because I didn't get enough sleep last night. But I'm just tired from dealing with physical pain as well as emotional pain. And when you have fibromyalgia, they kind of sometimes run parallel to each other, and sometimes they merge together, and they can be a little overwhelming, to say the least. And but I'm ready. And then it was just like overnight I got to sleep for a while, and then when I woke up, it was like my mind was just excited and racing, and I'm like, okay, when is 8:30 gonna come? I wanted it to come. And so it got here, and things went well, so I was really glad for that. So, just, stay connected. I will get back to kind of my normal I don't know what normal is. When people figure out normal is, can they please tell me? Because I don't know. I don't know what normal is, but I'm going to kind of get back to my normal stuff in the sense of realizing that, you know, there are going to be days where I'm going to come on this channel and be like, you know what, I'm not having the greatest day, and that's where I need to be. When I'm not having the greatest day, this and the lifeboat and other connection points are where I need to be. You know, and I had a lot of people just say to me, well, sorry, you don't get to hide in a corner anymore. We like you too much. You're too much of a good person, and we like you, and you don't get to do that anymore. You don't get to pretend like you're just going to go hide in the corner and you don't exist. That's a lot easier to do than being here. And it's amazing when people that are your friends that really kind of know you in a very short period of time know when you're not acting like yourself. You're not acting, not perky at all. But I was down, and people could tell that. And that's what investing in somebody looks like, is when you can tell they're just not quite themselves. They're in a not a good headspace, that you can come beside them and help to get them through that. And that's an encouragement to do, and to realize that sometimes people get in that spot, and sometimes when you sit and help somebody else with whatever they're going through, you can tend to really make yourself kind of forget what you're going through, or it may help you going through whatever you're going through. I think sometimes when we're in a problem or a situation or a circumstance, we can be so emotionally attached to it, it's really hard to see it in a way that somebody else isn't so emotionally attached. And they can see it from a different perspective. And I've had that kind of recently, and it's like I can point out things that other people are going through that's saying, wait a minute, let's look at this, and when you're in the trenches and you're in the hole of it, it's hard to see what other people are seeing, and that really helped by not having the people emotionally attached to the situation coming in and saying, can we just tap you over the little head? And so it really, really helped, and having connection and peer support. And I think this live format on YouTube, I think that if people really get the concept of what it's going to do, man, is it going to explode. I'm seeing more and more crochet channels that I'm going to actually start going on their panels, and just chit-chatting and bringing my crochet to bring people here. I don't teach people how to crochet. You don't have to be here to know how to crochet. It's not what this channel is all about. I'm not going to be doing patterns and all that kind of stuff, but I will gladly go on crochet channels and talk about how crochet has helped me deal with fibromyalgia. But, I'm seeing more and more crochet channels do panels, channels with, 4 people in the chat, just chit-chatting and conversating and having conversations in the chat. And I'm seeing more and more of that happening, and people can sit there and say, oh, well, just go live and stop streaming. But for somebody that's dealing with chronic pain, they can't always go out. Their body is not going to always allow them to go out and do things. I know for myself, I'm tired today. There's even, I couldn't plan to do something. That's why I'm doing this live now. I couldn't plan to go do something because I'm too tired. I've depleted myself today, and we have to, all I can do is really kind of sit on a chair in the garage, but we have to finish that, organizing that, whatever's little bits left. Then Saturday we have to go to the storage unit. People are going to help us unload that. I can't lift anything or do anything, but I could just be there to observe. And then my mom and I have to try to go over, even if I have to, and try to help, and I can just kind of be there as a moral support for my daughter Saturday. So I know Sunday, church may not even happen. I don't know what shape I'm going to be in Sunday, but I know the following week, I'm going to be taking days, and if I don't have to go anyplace, I'm not going. Because I know I'm going to be sore, I'm going to be tired, I'm going to have to rest my body because I've pushed it maybe a little bit more than because I have to. But that's part of living the fibromyalgia life, is you have to pull back when you need to and push. But there are days when you just, going out is just beyond what you can handle. And hi, Kristen. And that's why this is such a tool for so many people that may be home with somebody with dementia, or caretaking for them, or dealing with a special needs child, or they don't have a vehicle and they don't drive and they only have somebody coming picking them up once a week, or they're elderly, or whatever it may be, that they're kind of in a position of that they can't be, and this becomes a tool and a place of support. It is just so necessary, and I'm really thankful for it tremendously. So we're just going to keep hammering that. That's why whenever I leave a video, my tagline is "Stay connected, you all," because it is so, so, so important. So I try to be on tomorrow at 7 o'clock, which is, I think, what I normally come on. But I think Surviving Together comes on at 7. So I'm trying very hard, if I can avoid it, to not overlap people. So I may try to come on earlier in the day on Wednesday, and try to see if I can kind of do a schedule where I'm trying to not, if Surviving Together is coming on at 7, I don't want to be coming on at 7 and trying to compete with that. I want people going there. I want that support happening to that other channel. I'm going to post in the Lifebook Facebook group for people that want to, come on and do like a panel of people, so we can start having you kind of get to know these creators and go and subscribe to them. So I think tomorrow, let's see how I feel and what we get done, what needs to get done tomorrow. And I'll try to come on and see about Thursday, and we'll go from there. So you come on at the same time on the Ethernet cable, so hopefully it'll help. Yep. Well, I've got to figure out a time, so I'm not, I've got to start marking down when people are coming on, so I can, that always can't happen. Like, I can't always say, okay, I'm not going to come on at 7 on Wednesday because Surviving Together is coming on at 7 on Wednesday. I can't always do that, but I try very hard. One of the ones I do not compete with is the Lifeboat, because I need that just as much as I think everybody else does. At least on the 7s, 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. I don't come on those times because I want people going there. So I don't compete with that. I don't want people to have to choose. I need it. I need that support. They need that support. So I do not come on. I just don't compete with that. But Kim comes on at a certain time on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I don't want to compete with her. Miss Drag. I've got several people that I'm trying very hard not to not step on toes, but compete with. I want them to have their, and then I come on and so forth. So I'll figure all that out. I don't quite know what. We're going to see what Mary feels like tomorrow. And it may just be one of these out on a... tired. Out on the porch. So I'm going to get off here. We're almost home, and I am going to go get comfortable and go take a nap. So yeah, I'm today, absolutely, there's no doubt. I don't often fall asleep in the car because of the anxiety issues, but I was falling asleep with pretty much no problem, so I'm pretty tuckered. So I'm gonna go home and rest. I need to go rest. So I'm gonna get off here. I just wanted to tell everybody good news. I really thank... Hi, Jean. Go back and watch this. Anybody that wants to give me some watch hours, I will gladly take them. Check and make sure you're subscribed. Thank you for all your prayers and your good thoughts today. It was a very good and blessed day. I love you all. Stay connected. And God was good today. God gave us and our family such an amazing blessing. Talk to you all later. Stay connected and love you all.